This is Santa Claus's company. Every Christmas Eve, they gather here to prepare gifts. At that moment, the bodyguard, Johnson, suddenly asked for a day off. Hearing this, Santa was speechless. After all, they only work one day a year. When his request was denied, Johnson went outside alone to get some air. Unexpectedly, Santa Claus was kidnapped by criminals. Johnson immediately gave chase but couldn't catch up. He quickly asked the authorities for help. During the search, they found a bounty hunter named Chris, the very man who had sold Santa's location not long ago. At first, Chris refused to reveal who had bought the information, but after a bit of friendly persuasion, he finally decided to talk. Soon after, Johnson and Chris arrived in the city. Before taking action, Johnson stopped by a toy store to buy some toys. Then, using a portal, he teleported near the buyer's location. There, Johnson placed a toy car on the ground and used his powers to turn it into a real one. They drove off and quickly reached the buyer's place. However, the buyer claimed he wasn't the mastermind. Instead, he gave them the real boss's address. That night, Johnson and Chris arrived at the location. Before sneaking in, they had to deal with the guard dogs at the gate. Johnson transformed a little toy chicken into a real one and used it to lure the dogs away. Meanwhile, the winter demigod was in the middle of a slap fighting contest. When he saw Johnson and Chris, he challenged them to a match. Johnson went first. He placed his hand on the demigod's face and swung with all his strength, but the demigod didn't flinch. Then, it was the winter demigod's turn. He gently placed his massive hand on Johnson's face. It completely covered his head. In case anyone's wondering, this movie is called Red One.